Hello and welcome to this OpenTX Quick Tip, one of the first quick tips of the new year. This is an OpenTX Quick Tip, try saying that 3 times fast, for a gentleman called Leslie Adams. Now Leslie is the proud owner of a JetCat, and that is a turbine, and in the radios that he's had in the past he needs a 3-position switch. He needs the trim all the way down for the throttle with 1 click, he needs it neutral, and then he needs it all the way up with another click. And unfortunately, that's not something that you can easily do in OpenTX. So he asked me to have a look at it, and this is the result. I'm posting the video here, so hopefully it'll help those of you that also have a similar situation. Be aware that there are hundreds of videos on the channel about OpenTX, the Tronus radios, and the other FreeSky radios like the X9D, the QX7, and all those great pieces too. So do spend a bit of time if you're interested searching on the channel. It's amazing what you'll find. Now, as I said, this is one of those examples where I think OpenTX is lagging a little bit behind. OpenTX is a fantastically powerful system, but it doesn't seem to be spending enough time adding functionality into the menu for those of us that like things apart from quadcopters and planes, things like cars, boats, ground vehicles, and some necessary pieces for those pilots who aren't flying electric but fly other modes of propulsion. So let me show you how this works. Throttle is channel 3. Let me pop the throttle in the middle position, put it exactly at 0%. If I move the trim down 1, we get full maximum trim of -20, or we have it nothing, and up 1 will give us full trim in the other direction. So we only have 3 trim positions, and they move around, and we can change how much it goes up and down. I'll stop pressing the buttons now because I'm sure that beep is terrible if you're listening on headphones. Let me just show you how I've done that. First thing we need to do is we need to stop the trim that's by the throttle acting like a normal trim. Now there are 2 ways we can do it. We can either do it in flight mode and actually disable the trim for the standard flight mode. I've not done it there. What I've actually done is I've edited the throttle and just said include the trim no. So that's just decoupled the throttle, so that means that when we move the trim it isn't going to appear on that line. Now we have that free and clear to do with what we will, we can start to use it to do some funky stuff. So what I've said is in special functions, because surprise, surprise, we're going to be using good old special functions and logical switches to do this, just like we do all the time for all the other funky stuff in OpenTX. We're going to use throttle trim up to increase the value of a global variable by 10, and make sure you've clicked on to make sure it's working. And when the throttle trim is clicked down, it's going to adjust the global variable by -10. So what's actually happening there, just keep your eye on this, it's this bit here, the global variable 1. As I go up, there we go, increasing, and as I go back down, and then the other way, there you go, it's going plus and minus. So that's what that's doing. Now the cool thing is that global variable, we can test to see what the value of that global variable is to turn on and off 2 logical switches. Now again, there might be loads of different ways to do this. If you have other ways that you know that's a lot simpler, please let me know, but this is the way I figured it out. So logical switch 1 will come on when A is greater than X, so that's when global variable 1 is greater than 5, and similarly logical switch 02 will activate when A is less than X, when global variable 1 is less than -5. So if we simulate again, watch the logical switches 1 and 2. So as I go up, logical switch 1 comes on. As I go back down, there's neutral, logical switch 02 comes on. So how do we use those logical switches to affect the throttle? Well, that is done in the mixes. So there's the throttle channel, channel 3, and all we're doing is we source max, because we don't want it from any particular control, we just want it to be the value, and we're setting the weight to be 20, and then we're saying turn that on and off with the logical switch 01, and we've done the same thing in the opposite direction with logical switch 02, and that is actually what is affecting the throttle. So again, if I pop throttle up into the middle position and then go down 1 click, there's full negative trim, and up 1 click there's full positive trim. So if we decided that we found that -20 and +20 were the wrong numbers, then all you do is you just change it in this, maybe it needs to go 34 for the turbine to run, and maybe it only needs to be minus 15 in order for the turbine to actually shut off. So now what we'll see, and put the throttle in the middle position. So there it is, channel 3 is at 0, one click down gives me minus 15, neutral, and one click up gives me 34%, so that's giving me the control. So that's how I've done it. I do hope that this year we see a lot more work from the OpenTX development team around making this system an awful lot easier to use. Being able to do this stuff is fantastic, but I know that OpenTX would find an awful lot more acceptance in the hobby if, as well as having all of these fantastically complicated things that you can change, which are brilliant and powerful, there was a kind of a dummies version or a simplified version of the menus that had really great setup wizards and pretty much did all the work for you. So fingers crossed we're going to see that this year, and if any OpenTX developers are watching, please add that to the list. I would love to see it, and I think others would too. Thanks for watching the video and watching right to the very end. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you like the video and like what I'm doing here, then hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon too. If you really like what I'm doing, you can go the extra mile and become one of my Patreons for access to me directly for support, and also giveaways and regular updates too. If you're looking for particular content, then check out the playlist. I organise all of my videos into playlists, so if you're looking for a particular topic, you can find everything here. If it's called Introduction To, it's designed to start very simply and build on that simple introduction to teach you all about it. If it's called For Beginners, then that is really aimed at people who are brand new to that part of the hobby. You can also search on YouTube for anything that you're interested in using the search function at the top. So iNav Painless 360 will find all of my videos and even the playlist around iNav. So thanks again for watching, and happy flying.